Warning. This movie review will contain spoilers, and honestly, it may contain some bias feelings towards it. So, just to let you know, if you don't want to hear anything you don't want to know, then don't listen. If you want to watch, stay around. And if we piss you off, we're not sorry. But anyways, we're far side of the pod, man. My name's Jordan. We got Ridge.
Going on, y'all?
Today, we're going to do our official spoiler review and discussion for Marvel's Thunderbolts. Yay. Now, I'm going to tell the plot really, not the plot, but the little synopsis really quick. I know I say synopsis, I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so it said, in Thunderbolts, Marvel Studios assembles an unconventional team of anti-heroes. Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and John Walker, after finding themselves ensnared in a death trap set by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. These delusioned cast-offs must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. Will this dysfunctional group tear themselves apart or find redemption and untie as something much more before it's too late? Alright, so, Rich, how do you want to start this review off?
Just however you feel, brother.
Alright.
I mean, we can start off by just talking about... Well, I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. Instead of just saying, fuck it, like, however.
Right.
Let's start off with, what is your first reactions to the movie overall?
So my first reactions to the movie overall is... the one thing that really stuck through my head when I was like going into this movie or going to watch this movie is when seeing people discuss it and say, like Florence Pugh saying that this feels more of like a A24-esque style spy movie or something like that. And I could really feel, like, especially with like how some of the camera shots feel, I can understand that feeling. And that's one thing I went into this movie like looking for as an A24 movie fan. But I will say my first initial reaction and thoughts with it is I'm so shocked on how they can turn John Walker into such a likable character after me not liking him so much, like so bad. I think, the characters, every single character in this movie has such a great role in it. And, the emotional depth that this movie gave off, man, it's like, it was so relatable and it was so heart-wrenching just to feel. And with the void, the things that Bob would say to himself and the void would say to him, it was just like, man, that, if you've gone through stuff that we've gone through, you've definitely felt that pain. But like, just seeing everybody have to go through their dark past was such a good emotional moment throughout the movie. And I don't know, I love the movie. It's definitely one of the better. It's definitely one of, if not the best movie since Endgame. And I know I kind of said that about Captain America, but this truly is like the only movie I could put above this is probably Spider-Man since Endgame. Be real with you, but that's my little first thought about it.
So my first thought about it is, I thought it was a great movie. I mean, it just how it handles the thoughts of loneliness or what's the other word I'm looking for here?
Depression.
Yeah, depression. Thanks. I don't know why my mind went so blank, but just how it handles depression and how people go through it, and I mean, it was really well connected in that sense, and how they managed to make it feel like a really good, like it had good action scenes and it had good heart moments, and the story was just really well told overall. But
The one thing I had to bring up really quick is what I really loved about this is like these are characters that you expect this to be more of an action style movie, with U.S. Agent and Yelena and Bucky and Ghost and Red Guardian. Those are more grounded hand to hand type people, right? Well,
mm,
I think they didn't make it like there wasn't a lot of action in it. Like there was a good amount, but like it's like less than what you would normally expect for a movie like this. Like think about Suicide Squad, right? Like this is technically Marvel's Suicide Squad movie. And it's like think about the amount of action and violence that are in both of those movies, and look at the violence in this one. Look how much more storytelling there is in this one, and how much emotional drive there is in this movie.
yeah.
I really loved that too.
Now, at the same time, I will say I went like right after I got done watching the movie, and I went on to Rotten Tomatoes to rate it, and I gave it a 5 star. But the only reason why I gave it a 5 star is because you can't give a 4.8 or 4.7 to a movie.
Right.
You can only do 4.5 or 5 stars. So it wasn't necessarily at the 4.5 marker. But at the same time, to me, it wasn't that full 5 star marker neither. There was just some things that like felt a little odd, and I couldn't figure out what it was. We'll have to watch it again to see if I can figure it out. Like some of the things that they did with Bob felt a little odd at certain times. Mainly like whenever he turns into Century, that's where like there was an off feeling kind of. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what it is. It might have been just the CGI at the time, certain points. But it definitely felt kind of.
What do you mean when he first turned into Century? Like, what part do you mean?
So, like, when we see him in his Century suit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Around then, something felt off a little bit. Not 100%.
I think it was the hair. I think that's the only thing. Like even when I saw it, I was like, I love the suit. I just wish the hair wasn't like as like pushed back. I wish it was like maybe like a little bit longer or something that doesn't look like the way it did. Like you get what I'm saying? Like it looks more of like a natural flow, like how Thor's looks.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that and how slick back it was too kind of threw it off a little bit, but
right.
And like I said though, at like certain points, like whenever he would start to use his powers or something, like there was little things that seemed off, like with his face, and like I wasn't 100% sure why.
Well,
so
Lewis Pullman has like a weird face. He does like weird stuff with his face. Like
but
even in Top Gun, he'd made some weird faces.
Right. So I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, there's like kind of small things, and another thing that doesn't make 100% make sense to me is kind of towards the end, and we'll get into this more with the spoilers about how the asterisk and what it actually stands for and who got to make that call.
Right.
I don't see how they got to make that call whenever they're the head over the CIA, right? So why do they get to make the call? Shouldn't that be like the head of defense or the president?
Let me just very quickly tell the story of the movie. Like,
yeah.
Not like super into detail, but I can just give like a loose thing. Alright, so the movie pretty much starts off showing Yelena working for Valentina, and Valentina is currently like in the court process of it's like an impeachment trial, and they're looking to impeach her with some involvement with this corporation. I can't remember the name of it, but they were being accused of doing like human experiments and stuff like that. Well, she's trying to delete everything, and she sends Yelena to this facility to take out this target. But when she gets there, she sees that it's Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and turns out that she's there for another target as well. Was she going after John Walker? Or was she going after Taskmaster? No, she was going after Taskmaster.
Who?
Ghost.
Ghost was there for Taskmaster.
Taskmaster was there for Walker. But it ends and Walker was there for Yelena. So it ended up, like I said, Yelena was there for Ghost. Ghost was there for Taskmaster. Taskmaster was there for Walker, and Walker was there for Yelena. They were all set up by Valentina because they were the only people who knew about this stuff. And they mistakenly threw a table, or a table got hit by John Walker's shield, and it hit this casket thing that was holding Bob in it, waking Bob up. He pretty much just kind of goes along with the group, and once they eventually get out, he distracts them to let them go. It looks like he dies because he gets shot a lot. Then he takes off flying and goes straight back into the ground. And pretty much Valentina takes him because they believe that it failed, but that it didn't. So she pretty much takes him as nurturing to pretty much continue the Sentry program that they had going, and pretty much got him to go along with it pretty well. And Yelena, Ghost, and John Walker. Oh, and by the way, Ghost killed Taskmaster. Just popped her in the head. It was pretty quick. There wasn't nothing build up whatsoever. But they get picked up by Alexei, or Red Guardian, in his limo, that he's a limo driver now, because he overheard Valentina saying that they was going to get killed. And they eventually get caught by Bucky. Bucky is going to take them in and try to use them for the case. And then they tell them about Bob and tell them something's going on. He doesn't kind of believe them until he gets a call about it from Valentina's assistant. She kind of talks to him a couple times throughout the movie. And once they get there, they kind of have this whole big monologue between Valentina and Bob and them, and Bob duffs the shit out of him. That was one of the most nonchalant scenes ever. He was no effort, just dusting their ass, dude.
It was fun.
He is a scary son of a bitch. But then he kind of gets in this whole thing because Valentina is telling him what to do, and he's kind of if I'm, you say I'm better than the Avengers, that means, there's at least one God on there, so you're saying I'm a god, and why should I have to listen to you? And she pretty much hits the kill switch, or she went to hit the kill switch, he stops her, then the assistant hits it, and you see him pretty much die right there. And once they get out, and they all kind of split off because they all have this big argument saying they're not good enough and that they can't do it anymore. And the speech, dude, that monologue between Alexei and Yelena, that was a heart pulling monologue, man. When he's telling her you're not alone and stuff like that.
That was the first thing to get me teary eyed. Because that's what happens whenever you become a parent, is you start becoming more fucking emotional, especially whenever you see a child and their dad having some emotional piece in the movie, in any movie. And so, of course, that started it up for me. Just about started to cry out in that part. Especially whenever, I can't think of what he said. The dad said that, I can't think of the lines right now. I'll come back to it later. So whatever, just keep moving.
But it was a really, really fucking good speech. Like had us all up in the club crying for sure. Um, but it goes on to the Void comes out, and the Void is just so whenever they put this mutation or whatever inside of Bob, think about the analogy that they gave in the movie was really good. Like, think about how when they gave the super soldier serum to Steve Rogers, who was a brave guy no matter what and stood up for what was right, you saw what he became. But they're like, what would happen to somebody like Bob, who is somebody who was raised in a very violent domestic violent house, and was a meth addict and went through so much shit that he did, and the depression and anxiety that he has. They were saying, what is that gonna do to him? And I don't know if you recognized. I have to bring this up because I saw it. At the beginning of the movie, where Yelena's at that lab, and she blows it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When she's like pointing the gun at the doctor and talking, and in the background you can kind of see like a table and all that.
Yeah.
Did you see the two bodies?
Yeah. I seen
They were like voided.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you recognized.
Yeah, I seen that wherever. Yeah, I noticed that off the get go.
But the Void pretty much starts to take over New York, and as everybody starts running into the buildings to get away from it, Yelena just walks to it and kind of just goes into it. And it pretty much goes into her. It plays on this memory throughout the movie of when she did her first mission for the Red Room, and that was luring a friend to be killed or something like that. And it kind of repeats it, and she kind of has to get by that memory, and it's like multiple bad memories she has to go through till she eventually finds Bob and his own bad memory. And it's like when his dad is beating the shit out of him for standing up for his mom or something like that, and he's just kind of you just gotta kind of ignore it. And she kind of gives him his pep talk, and they pretty much come together and it's like, yeah, let's get out of here together. And eventually the whole team ends up in the room with them, and there was a line of how'd you guys find us so fast? And Bucky's like, I don't have that bad of a past, so, it was pretty quick. Or something like that. It was pretty easy. And they eventually get out. And, well, they don't get out before Bob pretty much starts fighting the Void. But that's what the Void was wanting, was Bob to give fully into the anger and the rage and the sadness and everything. And they, instead of the generic, what I was really expecting was, the generic pull him off of him and it stops it and the Void's gone type of thing. But what they did was, to stop him, they all hugged him. They all surrounded him and comforted him and gave him love. And that was that was so impactful to me.
By that, from the point of us entering into or seeing what he was going through and just the emotions that were pouring out then and into that scene was the main part that made me fucking cry.
Yeah, man.
Just because you see all that raw emotion, and I mean everything just comes together, and it's a realization that he's not alone anymore and he has people right there. Oh man, it's fucking insane.
But they pretty much pull him out of it, and they pretty much escape from the Void or disappear, however, and they bring him back out into the real world and all as well. It comes to, I guess, since they destroyed the Void, he lost the memory of what had happened during that time. But it also could be from the kill switch. I just thought about that. That killed him technically, you know.
I have no idea on what it was.
But like there was a part in it where you know, I think in the after credit scene he was like, you know, without the void, oh, I can't have, you know, Sentry without the void, something like that. But
Yeah.
But they go to confront Valentina, and she pretty much walks them right into a live on TV like press conference like thing on the other side of this great thing, and she pretty much announces, "You ready, Ridge?" The reason why the movie was called Thunderbolts Asterisk is because the Thunderbolts are officially the new Avengers, and that's what Ridge was aligning to earlier. Is yeah, whatever her name
Does it
is.
make sense that Valentina De Fontaine, or whatever you want to say, or however you want to say it, is the one that gets to make the option
Right.
that this is the new Avengers? Because she's only a head of CIA. She's not the president. She's not. She doesn't have that much power, and not to mention, it's not like everybody's minds just got wiped
Right.
to forget what she just did. So how are people not just automatically thinking, no, you shouldn't have that call of power?
My guess is just like the, you know,
So, I mean, heading into like the after credit scene, that's also, it makes sense as to why, and we'll get into that, I guess, here shortly too.
but yeah, she names them the new Avengers, and it was pretty much like earlier in the movie, Elena was pretty much saying, "I want to be a more face front public person," because she was wanting to be more of a hero than an anti-hero, pretty much. And whenever Valentina did that, Elena pretty much told her, "We own you," because, you know, one slip up and you're gone, pretty much. And they become the new Avengers, technically. Well, not technically, they are. And I don't know if you saw like Bucky's outfit in that after credit scene, but that was like a comic book accurate outfit.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I didn't look at it in detail enough, I reckon.
Right.
But I mean, I liked it.
Yeah, and
I like how everyone looks.
what do you think about the new their Avengers logo?
I mean, I thought from what I could tell, it looks the same as the other one,
No, it's
unless
different.
I missed something. I don't know by how much, but
It's not like super different, but it's a little different.
well, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, and also we jumped ahead another year
Right.
from.
But
Let's see, how long ago would that have been?
what?
Since Endgame, since the last time we had the Avengers.
It was 2025.
It was in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I thought it wasn't.
No, it was.
'Cause I don't know why I thought they jumped. I thought they had only jumped to our time at the time of the movie.
Never mind. The movie begins in 2018, then it jumps 5 years to 2023.
Right, whenever the movie actually was shown. So
Yeah.
2023.
And Thunderbolts takes place in 2027. It said that specifically it's placed after the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it'll be the lead into Doomsday.
So, oh boy. Okay, just I'm sitting here starting to do math on this shit, I think.
All right, so
You said,
let me tell the after credit scenes real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the mid credit scene was just a little goofy scene in like a supermarket, and it shows a woman in a like cereal aisle, and Alexi is in the aisle with her, and he's trying to persuade her to buy the Sweeties box because he's there on the cover of it, and she kind of takes it and just to get him to shut up and puts it down and just yeets out of the way, and he's like, "I'm on it." And it cuts away, but the true after credit scene pretty much shows them at the new Avengers, at the Avengers Tower in their new headquarters, and they're talking about Sam Wilson wanting to sue them for the name of the Avengers. And Alexi comes around the corner with a new outfit on, and it says the new Avengers with a Z at the end.
A NASCAR suit.
Yeah, the NASCAR suit. But as they're sitting there chit-chatting about it, they hear that something's into the atmosphere, and Bucky's like, tell it to show you satellite camera. And so she did, and when it pulls up, it shows the Fantastic Four spaceship. And it shows that the Fantastic Four is coming into orbit. It does the whole, where it shows Yelena's face, and it kind of, zooms out and twists, and it ends, and it says the new Avengers and Bob will return in Avengers Doomsday.
The new Avengers and Bob.
Yay. So, yeah.
Which, of course, that was also really good, getting to see Fantastic Four. And it's funny, too, because if you sit there and watch the credits roll, and if you didn't know that was happening, and once they get to it's one of the very last things, it's where the music is at. The very last song that they show you is the Fantastic Four First Steps theme.
Really?
It's the very last song on the credits of songs.
Bruh.
So you automatically, if you sit there, or if you don't sit there, you're not going to realize, wait, why did they just show that? The Fantastic Four's theme song was in there. I've never seen it. Well, that's the reason why you got to sit through every single credit, so that way you know that at the very end, they do play the Fantastic Four theme song because they show up.
Yep.
So, I mean...
So...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what are your complete thoughts on this movie?
Well, complete thoughts are the same as the thoughts I shared at the beginning. It was a really great movie. All in all, like I said, there's some things that were kind of a hiccup, like, certain things with Sentry and how he looked. There's a lot of emotional pieces.
Now, I don't know if you remember it, but you know that Sentry was supposed to be played by a different actor, right?
No.
Yeah, he was supposed to be played by Steven Yeun. He's Glenn from The Walking Dead, but he does the voice of the main character from Invincible.
Okay. Well, that would have made sense.
I
also remember I remember the original rumor or original lineup for the Thunderbolts.
Right.
It included it was going to have what they were speculating, at least. I don't know if it was set in stone before they had changed it. They was going to have the Red Hulk, and I can't think of the other guy from...
Abomination.
No, I'm thinking of someone else, too. From the Captain America movies. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, he was in that, too.
Oh, Zemo.
Zemo, yeah, he was in the original lineup, too.
Yeah, I wonder why they took him out.
I don't know.
I love Zemo. He would have been awesome in this movie.
But I will tell you this, too, because we completely glossed over it during the fight, or I wasn't paying attention and I glossed by it. They killed off Taskmaster in the funniest fucking way possible.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just tap, no remorse, no build up, no
Yeah.
nothing. Just pop.
I mean, even after they kill her, fucking sit there and pick the weapons off of her. It's like, yeah, you won't be needing this anymore.
I guess it's pretty much fan service for the fans who didn't like her.
Well, kind of. I just hope that maybe eventually we do get a better version of Taskmaster later on. Because I would like one that even like in whatever movie or TV show later on down the line, Taskmaster talks the whole fucking time.
Like the Taskmaster from the Spider-Man game.
Right, yeah. I mean, I seen someone bitch earlier on TikTok about how they thought that Taskmaster was getting shit on too much because of Taskmaster in this version was a female and this, that, and the fucking other. I was like, okay, I don't care if you give me a female Taskmaster. Make them fucking talk. Make them more comic book accurate.
Well, the thing is there's not a female Taskmaster in the comic books. That's the
Well, I
problem.
mean,
That's the problem is people who are big fans of Taskmasters, you completely change the gender of their favorite character, and they completely even change the way the character is, and it's just like
I said, I don't care if you change the gender on them, right? Because
Right.
it's Disney. It fucking happens. They change genders. They change skin tones.
but you still
They
could've-
change
you still-
shit, right?
You still could have made them a
Hey.
like snarky asshole like Taskmaster.
Snarky asshole. The suit looked more accurate. Don't get me wrong, it kind of did, but not fully. They could have talked the whole fucking time. They could have gave her an actual storyline more than what they did. You know, so I hope that eventually we do get another Taskmaster. Just that way they can have them done justice. Now, I will tell you this, and it's just from me looking at right now. The Thunderbolts poster, you know, the one with all of them mushed together,
Yeah.
it kind of foreshadows how Taskmaster is going to die, and it's kind of fucking hilarious now that I'm looking at it.
Is it like somebody pointing a gun to her head?
Yes! Yeah, yes! I can't tell. It looks like it's it's either, it's hard to fully tell because they're all mixed together, but I'm pretty sure it's John Walker's hand and his arm that has the pistol pointing at the back of her head.
Right.
It's so fucking hilarious that they managed to put that in the poster just to give you that much more of a, oh, hey, this is how it actually happens, and you'll figure that out once you see the movie. That's kind of fucking funny.
I just think that one of my favorite things that they did with this movie is, you know, of course, Yelena's a beloved character, and Super, of course, Bucky is a beloved character. He's one of the most beloved characters in MCU, in my opinion. You know, but they took characters that not a lot of people cared about. Like, I mean, Red Guardian is kind of back and forth. Like, he's not super popular, but he's popular.
I love Red Guardian. Anytime he was on screen, he made me laugh for a majority of it.
But, you know, they took characters like John Walker and Ghost, who people, you know, forgot about and don't really care about, and made them have purpose, and made them have a purpose, and made them likable characters. Like, nobody really cared about Ghost before this movie. I mean, you know, that's not even a lie. And, you know, nobody liked John Walker after he killed the guy with the shield in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
So, you know, they did a really good job bringing in characters that nobody cared about to make them cared about.
I would love to see either a little short series like a Marvel special again, or a TV series, special, or a movie on a young Red Guardian.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd like
Like before he ended up in prison and everything leading up to where he is now.
Right. You know what I'd like to see them to do? Like a little, like a Pixar short style thing for him.
What's that?
It's like just like a little adventures with the Let's thing of him going and picking up people on the limo and like be like a funny montage of stupid shit.
I would love to see, and I know this ain't gonna happen, but I would love to see him and Del Pinder and Deadpool.
That would be hilarious.
All right, here's a question before I get off into a completely different topic with you a little bit. It's all related in some way. It's all Marvel related from here on, okay?
Okay.
So, to stick with Thunderbolts with this question, do you think we're going to get a second movie?
For the Thunderbolts? No.
Or the Thunderbolts?
No, I don't.
You think it's a one-off?
Yeah, the only reason why I think that is because I think at least a couple of them are going to die in Doomsday.
Well, I mean, even if a couple of them die, well, not even by Doomsday, but even into Secret Wars.
Right.
Because I'm with you. I think that more than likely, and I'm probably wrong on this, but more than likely, I think Bob is going to die in Doomsday.
Dude,
like,
there's like, it's almost like if he doesn't die, how the fuck can can anybody compete against him? You know.
Well, here's the thing that I'm thinking: if he whenever he goes to die, what happens is that Victor Von Doom tries to like sympathize with him or something, and soft talk him and make it seem like he's the nice guy, right?
Right.
And somehow Sentry touches him and enters into his mind, and it shows his backstory. It shows Doom's backstory and everything, kind of.
Right.
To show like how evil he is and everything too, leading up to it. And then once he snaps back to, once they both snap back to, we said Doom's fine. He's not like how everybody else was whenever you see him go into their minds. Everyone else, they all like have that look of like hurt and distraught from it.
Right.
Meanwhile, you come back to and you see Doom's just standing there fine and dandy with how it went down. But at the same time, Sentry's like, oh god, you're not who you say you are. You're not good at all. And Doom just says, no. And wipes him away pretty much, right? Like cleans the floor with him. Now, either you could have that happen, or you could have the Void be on Doom's side.
Yeah.
Like, you could have it somehow where Doom manages to overpower Sentry, doesn't kill him or the Void, but strong arms him enough to where the Void respects him and ends up aligning with him.
That'd be nuts.
And then it's like, holy shit, what the fuck how are you going to take down the Void again and also be able to take down Doom? And like the only way you can take down the Void this time and try to bring back Bob is you have to kill Sentry and Bob and the Void. Like, there's no coming back this time.
Right.
But I mean, and like with maybe like the Red Guardian, maybe he'll end up dying in this, maybe a couple others. But I mean, they still could reform the team like how they did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
The thing is the reason why I don't think so is because we're leading straight into Avengers Doomsday, which pretty much if any of these characters survive the next two Avengers movies, then they're pretty much going to be Avengers and not the new Avengers, you know?
Well, I mean, what if they still want to go by, like, what if, like, let's say they go in like a slightly different route and end up having someone like Thaddeus Ross join them,
Oh, true.
and they actually make the Thunderbolts out of them. So then you have Thunderbolt Ross, and you have everyone falling behind him too. You know,
If they do that, it'll be called the Thunderbolts and not Thunderbolts.
right?
Without,
That or two, it could be that we end up getting eventually this group with the Thunderbolt. Okay, wild idea. You have the Thunderbolts with asterisks again,
yeah.
just for at the end for Norman Osborn to join them, and their name becomes the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that was just a random thought I was having was, well, it's a hard thought is, will they have another movie, or is this going to be a one and done deal? Because this is a very popular movie with the audience. I think it's sitting at like a 87% right now.
Right. I definitely think that they won't do. I still don't think they'll do another Thunderbolts movie, but I think it's very smart that they're bringing these people into Doomsday. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think every character is somehow going to get pushed into Doomsday, right?
right, of course.
Other than probably your Eternals and
The one character I hope that they bring into these next couple of movies and have him really have a great shining moment, is Adam Warlock.
yeah, I mean, I think that's coming too. Is Adam Warlock will be more developed of a character by then.
Right.
Oh, and the other character I don't imagine that they're bringing in is the female from the end of Secret Invasions.
Oh yeah.
That got like everybody's power wrapped into her.
Yeah.
If they do, it's going to be another one of those characters I think that they just have Doom sweep the floor with, pretty much.
Oh, for sure.
Because nobody likes that character, no one likes that show. So if they bring her back, they'll want her to go quick too, like they did with Taskmaster. So, I mean, that'd be the only way I see that happening.
All
But
right.
anyways,
Has we got anything else to say about the movie? Oh, actually, last thing. So, what is your official rating for the movie? Out of 10, what would you give this movie?
out of 10,
Yeah.
out of 10, I'll probably give it a 9.5.
All right.
Just because, like I said earlier, with like a 5-star review on it, I gave it the 5 stars, but only because I'd give it like the slight underside of it,
Right.
and you can't give it that. But I mean, if we're going all the way up to 10, yeah, I think it.
I think 9.5 is a good space. I think that's where I'm at too. All right, so is that it? You got anything else to say about the movie?
Nothing else on the movie. I got other stuff on it. Fucking Marvel though. I can go down the rabbit hole on.
I guess we can say one more thing. Let's say one more thing since we're not doing a podcast episode.
Yeah. So you said that this movie was taking place in 2027, correct?
Right.
Okay. And then we time jumped ahead to 2028 then.
Right, yeah.
So we're 5 years ahead of Endgame now.
Yes.
So I've heard a rumor too, by the way, of that they are casting some. They're in the process of casting someone to be young T'Challa, and they're having someone who apparently already plays a superhero to play him. So he's gonna have double hero duty, I guess. Whether that means that he's from like Invincible or The Boys or DCU, who knows?
Right.
But I'm trying to gauge how old young T'Challa is. And what I had come up with, because I don't know where Wakanda 2 falls out from Endgame.
Right.
But that would probably have him at what, 20 years old, 21? By the time, because the reason why I'm already up to that is not from the 5 year jump. But if we add on, because more than likely in Secret Wars, we're going to have another time jump to Secret Wars.
Right.
By then, he should be, what, 20 maybe?
Maybe.
Because to me, in Wakanda Forever, whenever we see young T'Challa, he looked about almost 10.
Right. I'm just trying to think of like who would it be? Like I'm trying to think of like who would play him. If it's somebody that's already a superhero.
Hold on. Let me go look at something real quick. If you think of somebody before me, let me know.
I'm trying to think.
Because
I mean, I don't think it'd be the guy who plays A-Train in The Boys. That's definitely not him. I mean, it could be Michael B. Jordan.
no, I don't think they're going to give him that. So might it be, because it's according to how far of a time jump we have, could it be Aaron, how do you say his name, Aaron Pierre? The guy that's playing Jon Stewart in The Lantern Show?
It could.
I mean,
I wouldn't be against that.
Me neither. I mean, he's already playing a character right now, or he's playing a hero here shortly, and then if he ends up getting this role too, that's two different hero characters that you're playing at the same time, just about.
Right.
It'd be an interesting choice.
It would be. I'm generally excited to see what they do, man. I hope they bring in, if they don't bring in more characters, I get it, but I hope they do bring in more characters for the movie, just so we can have more clarity, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think that they'll bring in. I definitely think that they'll bring in a lot more.
Right.
And even like some that aren't going to be like in movies going forward, but that are just getting, little cameos put into like Secret Wars.
So,
What I think is crazy is how many actual main characters they are going to have for just Doomsday.
all right, so I'm seeing this thing float around, and this will be the last thing we talk about. I'm seeing a thing floating around, and it's just to ask of opinion on who it is. And they're saying that Wolverine will reportedly kill somebody major, like a major character in one of these next Avenger movies. Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it should be?
Jeez. There's no. I imagine it's going to be somebody from the MCU. Who? Does it have? It'd be somebody that doesn't have a lot of power as is right now, wouldn't it?
I don't know, unless it's like unless it's kind of like a you have to kill me to stop me type of thing. Like think about how in X3, right? When Logan, well, he pretty much had to kill Jean to get it to stop the Phoenix.
You're right.
Then kind of like, just think about like Professor X sacrificing himself in X3 and different stuff like that. What if there's something where like he has to kill Professor X to stop, Doom from controlling his telekinesis, or maybe he has to.
But what if it's him that's being controlled?
True, it could be
by Doom. So I have one random character that it kind of would make it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense,
right?
But in the comics, he does die in Secret Wars. What if he kills Doctor Strange?
I mean, maybe.
Because Doctor Strange ends up in the comics and possibly in the movie sides with Doctor Doom. So, what if he takes out?
I was thinking, what if it was like M'Baku? I just feel like.
But why would he take him out?
I just feel like M'Baku would be one of those people, like maybe Wolverine's smart lipping somebody, and M'Baku stands up for him, and they kind of get lippy, and M'Baku shows that he's not afraid of him, and Wolverine's like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker," and he kind of does M'Baku like he did Sabretooth. It's just like an off thought. But I don't know who it's gonna be, but I'm excited to see the future of the MCU. I think Thunderbolts was a really bright spot, and it's definitely a spark, and I hope that it ignites the fire back into it. Now I'm feeling it, man. Ever since Deadpool and Wolverine, it's been doing pretty good. So let's hope it continues, right?
Yep. I mean, hopefully it only goes up from here. So
right. But I guess that's officially it, guys. If you stuck around this long, just like, subscribe, share us out, add us on your parents' phone. Who cares, man? Just share us out and show some love. Thank you for sticking around, and if that's it, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.